I'm Jacob Lutwyche. I'm 23 years old. I play forward for the Blackburn Hawks and I'm from Blackburn, Preston, the Ribble Valley.
This episode I'm joined with number 20, Jacob Lutwyche, and I think we'll just get into how did you find your way into hockey? How did it start?
So I used to be a figure skater. That's where all the spins come from. But it was actually here at Blackburn. And they used to have this net that goes across the ice and they'd have hockey on one side and figure skating on the other. So my dad just came up to me one day and was like, do you want to try that? And I said, yeah, because I could already skate at the time. So the next week I went over onto the other side with my figure skates on and just grabbed up a puck, and then it kind of just took off from there. I did both sports for probably about 5 years before I decided to quit figure skating. Yeah.
What made you choose hockey over figure skating?
I think figure skating was quite lonely. I wasn't a pair skater. I was a bit too young for that. I think I stopped when I was about 12, and hockey was just more exciting. You know, figure skating, I'd be out there for an hour on my own with my coach, but there was no kind of like team or any kind of social life to it. I think, I was going to say hockey's better. I think if you like the excitement, hockey is definitely the way to go.
I was going to bring up your figure skating later on, but seeing as you brought it up, what do you think your career in figure skating before you came into hockey helped your hockey ability with the coordination and balance, and like, because it's quite demanding on you to be confident in what your ability of what to do?
Yeah, figure skating is the most. What's figure skating? I mean, skating is the most important part of hockey. Like when I joined the hockey for the first time, I mean, I could already skate better than everyone else, which already put me up a step. So, honestly, if no one can touch you, you'll be the best on the ice because no one can take the puck off you. You can get around people. I think I teach some kids now hockey basics, and it's always the ones that can skate that do a lot better. So just like working on it, the public sessions, you can tell that they're going to go a lot further because they've got the basics behind them. And there's this one kid that my girlfriend teaches, and he says, "Oh, I don't need my back outside edges," but you do. You need everything. You need to be able to do everything, because if you get hit or something, you need to be able to use your edges and spin off it. Or I think it's the most important thing.
What do you think having your spins from figure skating's helped you get back up then, as you said, when you've been knocked over?
I think it's actually helped me not get knocked down as much, so I can get hit and then kind of spin it off.
Play it out in style.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. Yeah, anyone can improve their skating. I'd say go for it.
You've, in your space of your hockey career, you started in 2013, 2014?
That's probably when, is that Elite Prospect?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the first, was that Blackburn?
I can't recall.
It's probably Blackburn. It's probably the first kind of like real season that I played, yeah.
Since then, you've played in the National North League 1, NIHL and EIHL, and 2 seasons in Canada. How did Canada happen? What made you go over there?
My memory's a little bit foggy actually, but I had a very supportive family and a very kind of ambitious dad. So he was obviously kind of pushing me to do this hockey stuff, but I think that was the best decision that was ever made for me going to Canada, because they were the 2 best years of my life. So I can't answer why we went, but I just know it was the right decision for me.
What was it like over there? Was it like with different experienced players? And
so my first year, I was probably the bottom of the team. Definitely learning from the people that were better than me. And then my second year, it kind of changed completely. So I was then more towards the top. So I'd put on a bit of weight, and I was more confident. So the difference between year 1 and year 2 was quite big for me. But it's a completely different lifestyle sports over there in Canada, America, because we'd wake up at 6, we'd get on the ice, and then we'd quickly shower and we'd go to school for 7 hours, something like that. and then we'd come out of school, and then we'd go to the gym, do a workout, and then we'd eat, and then we'd have 2 hours study session, and then it'd be bedtime. So it was like almost like military school. Like every single hour was kind of predefined. That's why they produce good athletes, I think. Yeah.
Because it's like constant routine. So
yeah, you get used to hard work. I think that's what it is.
Do you think that helps you when you came back over?
Yeah, when I came back over, it was kind of completely different. So I went straight into uni, and then I was at Storm. So I'd already had the kind of schedule practice. So that helped me with Storm, waking up in the morning, going to practice, coming back and doing the studies. So I think living that lifestyle for 2 years before probably put me in the best position to live that lifestyle when I came back home as well.
Do you think, is it with the different leagues that you've been in 3 different leagues, is it different sort of, I won't say pressure, but like, is expectations might be the better word? Is that, I'm not sure which would be the better word, but with the type of training and the type of routine?
I mean, the training in the Elite League is kind of, it's on a different level. So we'd be training 3 or 4 times a week. We'd have optional skates before games. So, you're looking at like 4 hours of just training a week, plus gym time as well, where you're all together working out at a gym. And then because you have that much time throughout the week, you can focus different days on different things. So Tuesday, after a long weekend, would be kind of more like a skills / close area battles kind of drills, get you ready for the game. Then Wednesdays, we'd probably do some kind of line work, scenario situations. And then Fridays, we'd always have like a pre-game skate. So that would be the same thing. It was just kind of getting loose and warming up your hands, making sure you're ready for the weekend. Yeah.
You're known as the Magic Man. Do you know how that nickname came about? Or?
I have no idea, but it was one of these guys at Blackburn. I think it's probably someone who's on Facebook or something, and it's just stuck. So
when I came, everyone was like saying, "Oh, the Magic Man's like," I'm like, "Who's that?" And then now that I've heard it once, now it's like it just sticks.
I know, yeah. We need to like make some new names for the people, like Ridge the Godfather or something, or I don't know.
So it's just one of them that you've heard and it's just sort of stuck.
I didn't try and make it stuck. Everyone else around me made it stick.
I think it quite works though, because every time you've got the puck, you always find the back of the net. In any scenario possible, you found the back of the net.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Touching back on the figure skating, I think you might have mentioned it, but what was the transition like? Did you find it easy to transition into hockey or?
Well, figure skates and hockey skates are a lot different. Figure skates have the pick on the front. They also have this thing called a rocker, which is basically the bottom of your blade. So that allows you to spin. But I think I was young enough to be kind of malleable that it didn't really matter. I could kind of make both of them work. I think if I was to try figure skating now, I wouldn't be able to use the skates because they're just completely different. They also have a bit thicker blade, which doesn't make a big difference, but it is a difference. It also sits differently on your feet. You have to hold yourself differently. You need your shoulders down, your chest up. Not really bending at the hips. It's different, but I think I was young enough to make it work.
I think you still are able to do some figure skating moves with hockey skates. As after the skate with the players that we did, you've done a few spins on the skates. Was it?
Yeah.
Do you do that quite often, or?
No. So there's a video of me at Storm doing a double salcho. I think that was the first time I tried that in like 10 years. So I was quite impressed with myself then. But yeah, like I said, we don't have the toe pick, so there's certain jumps that you definitely can't do. So anything kind of coming forward or using the pick, so that's like toe loop, flip, lutz, I'd really struggle to get them. But salcho and loop are the only ones that I can really do. I want to try double axel. So I think I can kind of get away with not coming off the toe. I think so. Maybe we'll see.
Maybe try that off season, just in case.
not a week before playoffs.
Yeah, definitely not a week before playoffs. Is there any goals that you scored that have been your favourite or that have stood out to you?
But there's one that, maybe two, that the Blackburn Hawks will know about, and that's the one from last year, the finals, the penalty shot. Not that it was a great goal, it was just that it meant a lot to me and to the whole team. The other one was the face-off goal. I know Pete scored one a few months ago, but that was my first one. I was quite happy with that. Made me laugh. And then the third one, I think I was playing conference for under 15s, maybe. But the year before, there was a coach that cut me from the GB or England squad or something, and he was coaching the other team, and I scored in 5 seconds of the puck drop. So puck drop, and I just kind of went down and scored, and I looked right at him, and yeah, that felt quite nice. Yeah.
A bit of revenge of look what you've missed out on. You do seem to enjoy scoring lots of goals, and I think everyone's quite pretty much asked if you have any tips on finding the back of the net.
I think obviously being able to skate and being able to get away from players to let yourself have a good shot, that's probably a good one. Definitely shoot more. Like, there was a stat that came out a week ago maybe on an Instagram page, and that was like our shot conversion rate. So that's, if we shoot 100 times, we normally score about 15 goals. So, if you're scoring or shooting 10, you should really get 1.5 a game if you think about it. So shoot more. You can't score if you don't shoot. And then the last thing was work on quick shots. So that's not like hard shots, not the puck moving fast, but from the point where you decide to shoot and you shoot, it needs to be quick. So there's none of this kind of like loading up really slow, making sure everything's perfect and then following through. You need to just be able to go quickly and catch the goalie off.
How does your game day look like?
Oh, okay.
Does it vary every game or?
So a few things stay the same, and then a few things are completely different. So sometimes I'll coach kids in the morning on hockey basics. I quite enjoy that, so I'll be up at like 7, do that, come home, and then I'll always have kind of a sausage and egg sandwich. I like that. I don't eat much before a game. I think it makes me feel a bit heavy. So I definitely have that. I always leave at the same time, 2:45 to get to the rink for 4. And then I'll probably listen to a podcast on the way.
Would you say that's a bit of like a superstition you've got to be able to do that, or is it just routine that you've brought over from Canada?
I don't think it's superstition. If something goes wrong, I don't think I'm going to have a bad game or anything like that. I think it's just routine. It's what I'm comfortable with. I've seen it work, so why not? And I quite like sausage and egg sandwiches. So
you mentioned that you coach hockey basics. Does that sort of open your eye up to maybe going into coaching one day?
Yeah, I like coaching kids, especially ones that really want to learn, and I like seeing them get better. So if I tell them something and they apply it, and I can see it improve their skating or the shots or something like that, that kind of makes me feel good. In terms of coaching in the future, I'm definitely not against it. I think once I quit hockey or maybe I'll slow down a bit, and I don't think coaching's off the table. Yeah, just need to work out where and kind of how I can fit it into my life.
Because you have a normal 9 to 5, don't you? Mm-hmm. What is it that you do for work? How can you not say?
No, I can say it. It's a little bit tricky. So we work for it's a chemical regulatory consultancy. I have a degree in biochemistry, but I'm not doing anything scientific. So I'm mainly working in the finance team. And we have this system called SAP, which manages all of our projects, timesheets, invoices, payments, all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of like the go-to guy if anyone needs help for that. And I send out all the invoices, I manage people's timesheets, moving more towards kind of managing these projects and helping these scientists get their stuff invoiced, making sure they're kind of business minded when they're working.
Well, you said biochemistry is what you got a degree in. How come you chose biochemistry?
It just sounded good. If I had the choice now, I'd go back and I'd do psychology or something like that, because I think that's a lot more interesting for me. Yeah, literally the only thing that I use biochemistry for is diagnosing myself and other people.
What is biochemistry?
It's just how the biology and chemistry works within your body. So we didn't really look at animals or anything like that. It's more about your own stuff. So it does help me. So if I know if someone's got some symptoms, or they tell me I've got this disease, I can kind of explain it to them in a better way. So I like looking at neuroscience, so anything that's going on in your brain, so like dopamine, serotonin, all that kind of stuff. And I really like teaching it to myself, and then I can explain it to other people then. So I'll take it back, actually. It is helpful for me, and I'm quite glad I did it. Yeah.
I think the brain's always interested me, the way that it works and stuff like that, but I wouldn't have the patience to sit down and learn it all.
I just find it dead interesting, so. And I like knowing what's going on, so you can kind of work out why you feel a certain way, or why sometimes you're motivated and sometimes you're not. How, like, eating sugar, why do you crash after it? That kind of stuff. Yeah.
I'll pick up like random information of things, but I don't think I could sit there in a university lecture or anything and just be told all the information.
Yeah, well, most of my knowledge is probably self-taught, actually. I didn't learn much in uni.
Yeah.
I really wasn't a good student. I came out with a degree, but I did not apply myself at all. I only started finding it interesting after uni, when I started teaching myself.
I feel like that's the thing with most things, like you enjoy it, but then once you do it as like a degree or something, you don't find it as interesting anymore.
Yeah, I always knew that I liked biology. I wasn't a fan of chemistry, but biology on its own didn't seem challenging enough, or I think if I'm going to go to uni, I might as well make it as hard as possible for myself. Yeah. I don't think biochemistry is a bird course, if that makes sense.
I don't think I understand, but
No. I think it was a Canadian thing. So a bird course would be something that a course that a bird could do, like a.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense now. You mentioned your girlfriend before. I've seen that she does come to quite a few of your games. Does your parents come to your games as well, with the fact that your dad's pushed you for hockey as well?
Yeah, I mean, my sister plays hockey now, and she's doing quite well. She's I know last year she was playing for about 3 different teams, so my dad was always driving her around. I didn't have much time to come see my games, but yeah, I know he still supports me. So I've never been the type of person that needs people to come and watch me. I'm quite happy just going and doing my own thing on the ice, and then.
Do you see that as sort of like your time, even though you're with everyone else on the team? It's just sort of Jacob's time on the ice. Yeah,
I enjoy it. It gets me away from work. It gets me away from dishes. Yeah.
If you could wake up one day and be in any team, any sport, any team, didn't have to try out or anything like that, what team would you
Sports
choose?
team.
Could be sports team, could be anything.
You know who Dude Perfect are?
No.
Oh, I like them. Some of these guys will probably know what Dude Perfect is. They just make YouTube videos of them doing trick shots and make loads of money, so that sounds fun. But if I had to pick a sports team, it's a tough question. I think NHL is a lot of hard work. Very intense. I mean, they play a lot of games.
Be a good experience to go through, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But I think if I could choose now, I'd probably choose like American football. I think they play way less games than we do, and they get paid a hell of a lot more than NHL players do as well. I think.
Really?
I might be wrong, but I think they do. Maybe a quarterback or something. I'd be like Tom Brady. Yeah.
One final thing before I let you go for training. What is your comfort thing? Do you like when everything's too much and like maybe nerves are high? What would your comfort thing be?
There's a lake right by my house, a little bench on it. But if you sit on that bench, you can just get the sunset, and it kind of the lake goes like this, and you get the sunset that goes right in between it. Yeah, I like that.
Wow, that sounds quite a beautiful view to see. Do you go see it?
It's probably on my Instagram if people go and look there.
Do you go there quite often? Quite a bit?
Probably not as often as I should. I went there the other night actually, but yeah, it's literally a 30-second walk from my house. So I don't know why I don't do it more often. But maybe it's been too cold.
Yeah, it really has been.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jacob. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.